Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Sunday, the 11th of September. But first, a quick recap. Well, a disappointing day, but if you do follow other channels as well, there has been the odd channel that has a very good day. I do like to call this out when it does happen. Obviously, the channel in question has been on quite a bad run recently, but it's nice to see people getting money in the pockets. Unfortunately, it wasn't this channel, but as you will see with all the tipsters, including myself, there are swings and roundabouts. And unfortunately, this channel is currently still in a dip, whereas so was the other channels. But I'm pleased to see that a channel's done well. You will see different channels at different times, possibly having a really good run and then a dip. It's just how things go. So on to today's selections, and I do really like the look of these. And some of these were actually selections when I first chose them. Was it Friday for Saturday or Thursday for Friday? Yeah, Friday for Saturday morning. But obviously, the racing, I then found out that later on Friday that the race would be abandoned for Saturday. So let's get into it. So it's a similar bet to Saturday. It's a 10 pence each way lucky 63. Then all I've done then, I've like boosted up the each way doubles, each way trebles, and right up to each way fourfolds. I think the each way doubles are 25 pence. The each way trebles are 15 pence each way. Bear in mind that the each way doubles, each way doubles are 25 pence each way doubles. Trebles are 15 pence each way doubles, and I've also had 10 pence each way fourfolds as well. I think it comes to £29, but decide for yourself exactly how much you want to stake. If you can't afford that, it's not a problem. It doesn't matter, does it? Just reduce your stakes. So let's get on to the horses. So the first selection is Hyperfocus at 12 to 1 in the 1 o'clock at Doncaster, paying 5 places instead of 3. This horse absolutely loves soft ground, races very prominently, so horses will have to pass it to beat it. It's not a case of this horse, I wouldn't have thought, weakening. It loves the trip, loves the ground, and it will be hard to peg back from what I believe is a middle draw. It's drawn 7, so it should be right down the middle of the course, which I personally think the middle of the course will be favoured. I could be made to look wrong. It's not the first time, but I do believe the vast majority of the racing and the preference will be down the middle of the track, or even slightly towards low numbers. But let's see. The second selection is Count Dorsey at 9 to 1 in the 10 past 2 in the Portland Handicap, paying 7 places instead of 4. This horse has also entered up in the Air Silver, I think maybe it's Air Bronze Cup and Air Gold Cup. It's definitely two of the Air Cup races next weekend. Obviously, if it wins this race, it probably will go into the Gold Cup. If it doesn't, it will either go the bronze or silver. Another horse that loves soft ground will be right up there as a middle draw, and I think it's got a cracking chance. I believe it came third in this race last year. So the third selection is Lismore at 28 to 1 in the 2:45 at Doncaster in the Doncaster Cup Stakes. I was hoping for first 4 in this race, but unfortunately it isn't. Basically, there's a lot of fancied horses, but this horse, originally, Jamie Spencer was booked to ride it, but now it's Frankie Dettori, which I'm quite happy with that. It's still a decent jockey, still a decent big race jockey. It's trained by Henry de Bromhead, and I did mention about why I set one of his horses yesterday. Didn't run very well yesterday, but I do like the look of this horse. Lismore loves soft ground, which it will be soft ground. It'll be a real test today at Doncaster, and I do think 28 to 1 is far too big. The last time it came to these shores, it won as well, comfortably as well. The next selection is Emily Dickinson at 18 to 1 in the St Ledger in the 3:55 at Doncaster. Very highly thought of this horse, but it's just been like a little bit disappointing. Like it's been like peppering the places. It ran a cracker last time, but it seems to get outpaced. Well, hopefully this soft ground it won't get outpaced quite so much, and hopefully it can hang on there. And it's always finished well over what? It's only run well over 1 mile 6 once, but last time it finished very well over 1 mile 4, where I think it was Urban Artist set an unbelievable pace, and this horse was closing hand over fist. Well, it's quite interesting that the St Ledger is a race that Aidan O'Brien likes to win. Well, his best chance is an 18 to 1, so I find that very interesting. Ryan Moore takes the mount. If I'm being honest, yes, he is a top jockey, but he never seems to ride a winner for me, or very rarely. So fingers crossed that changes. The fifth selection is Symbolise at 10 to 1 in the 4:30 at Doncaster, paying 6 places instead of 4. This horse one of the best horses in the race. Very lightly raced recently, but it needs slow ground, and it's got it today. Andrew Baldwin cracking at targeting particular races. It should be racing prominent throughout. Has got a middle draw, and I've got no excuse for this horse. It should be in the places, but things can happen. So yeah, David Probert takes the ride, and I think it's off. It's off one of its highest. I think it is off its highest rating ever. But it was last time when it ran a decent race, and I think the soft ground, yeah, will bring even more, possibly improvement. But I think even if it runs up to its mark or just above, I do think there'll be a lot of horses that underachieve today because of the ground, because some will be running because they've been targeted at the race but don't want the ground. So unfortunately for them, they'll probably when push comes to shove, they'll probably drop away. I do think this horse will be right there throughout. So that's that selection. The last selection is interesting because originally I went for it because I thought, a JP McManus horse trained by Milton Harris. Well, I looked at the colours, I looked at the ownership. It's very similar colours, but it isn't actually that owner. So I clicked into it. I do like the look of it. If this horse handles slow ground, I think it's got a cracking chance. It has got a similar profile to a lot of his horses that has been running on the flat recently, where they've got low weights. They're just beginning to hit form, and because I can't remember the horse now. I think it begins with an S and then second Superstar or something. But it does seem to be doing very well with his horses, especially even his novice hurdlers last year. So I do think this trainer can get horses ready for these decent handicaps, and I do think off a lightweight it can run an absolute cracker. It's unproven on soft ground, but I looked at the breeding and I think it's his dam or its dam sire did like soft ground. So that's interesting, but it's also interesting the fact that it hasn't ran on soft ground so far. But I think that potentially is an even bigger plus, because if it's been running on quick ground all the time, let's think that it doesn't like quick ground, but it's still achieving a decent level of form. Wait till it gets its preferred ground, which hopefully might be soft. If it is, I think you could see an extremely well handicapped horse. So I'll just go through them very quickly. So Hyperfocus, I'd be disappointed if it didn't run very well. Count D'Orsay, although it's a smaller price, it's a bit more of a fingers crossed horse. Lismore, I'm hopeful that it can run well at a big price. Emily Dickinson, 18-1. Fingers crossed that some of the fancied horses run below themselves. Symbolise, I fully expect to be up there throughout. I'd like to see it win, but 6 places, I'd expect it to get a place, especially on favoured side of the track, what I believe is a favoured side. And Songo is a huge dark horse. So those are my feelings about the horses. Sorry for rabbiting on. If you watched till this far, just give me a quick like. That's all. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. That's fine. Quick like. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.